What's going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes, and today's video I want to go over something that caught me somewhat by surprise, and I caught this kind of late. Is that Solana actually created not only a web stack, so a Web3 stack, I should say, where developers can make decentralized apps on Android devices, right? So not only they do that, but they actually released information that they've created a phone of their own. All right, it's an Android device, but they call it the Solana Saga. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Solana is one of the biggest layer ones out there now. Funny thing is, though, is that it's got so much backing from venture capitalists that it's definitely not a decentralized protocol by any means. It's very interesting. The play here that they want to make Web3 accessible through your mobile phones, which I think is a very smart move. I mean, that's what we all use, more so than we use a desktop or a laptop or anything like that, is our phone, right? So having, Web3 apps, decentralized app store enabled on your phone, I think is very impressive. Very impressive if they can get that done. It sounds like they can, but they released it at a New York event. I believe it was the NFT New York event that they had just last week. So they call it the Solana Mobile Stack. And basically what happens is developers, it's an open source platform, and developers can create Web3 decentralized apps like games, wallpapers, payment protocols, all kinds of things on there. And since it's open source, any developer can kind of get in there and add to it. So it's very interesting what they're saying here, and what they want to do is actually they want to make, they want to make this phone your hardware wallet. Okay, now hardware wallet is pretty synonymous with cold storage. So you're going to keep it there where the keys are safe, and nobody can access them. But it's very interesting because they are saying that not only is it going to be fit for Web3, but it's going to be a full, the phone itself will have full Google Suite apps. So I'm not sure the security around there, if this app is, it's going to keep your keys, your private keys there as a vault, and also your digital assets. How does that play in if it's got Google apps? I'm sure they have that figured out. I haven't heard anything about that, but I guess the security for me is always a risk. So that's a concern for me. You guys can kind of check this article out here. It is going to be around $1,000 in price point. So we're looking, comparative to top tier Samsungs and top tier Apple phones, right? The iPhones, and so building on the iPhone, that's actually the iPhone, as I'm sure all of you know, are very restrictive. Apple is very restrictive in what they allow in their apps, and then once the apps are in there, what can or cannot they do, and then at the same time they control all of the information that's going to kind of go through that app, the store app, and they want to change the game here in Solana. So this Solana Saga, they want to have a decentralized app store where the developers and the creators can directly communicate with the consumers, and there is no information being stored through the platform itself. So very interesting. Look, if Web3 can come to the phone in pure Web3 form or a variation of it and be seamless, I mean, the adoption rate is only going to climb higher and higher, right? So here's a Solana mobile web stack here, or the Solana mobile stack. They want to have a mobile wallet adapter, kind of where you can link into certain platforms just by having your wallet in the phone. They want to have a place where you can store your seed phrases. Okay, so these are these private keys, these very specific and customized phrases just for you and your device, and controlling your assets. So this is where I'm not sure how that works when you have this stored in the phone, but you still have access to other apps, whether they be Google or otherwise. I don't know about that. Solana Pay. And so here's some of the things that they want in terms of a better experience, is that you can mint an NFT anywhere, anytime. Okay, just through this actual device. You can transact for goods and services with their digital assets. You can play your Web3 games, and and you can participate in token gate, and yeah, so just things that require tokens. You're going to have access to it because this is now a Web3 play, right? So you'll have your tokens on there, your digital assets, and you can actually engage in certain things like that. And this is probably the biggest thing right here is what I mentioned before, is that creators and developers can establish direct relationships with users through the decentralized apps without a middleman collecting data and fees and all of that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot, there's a lot here. I did not know any of this was going to come across my radar at all. And so that was a big twist, and it's funny because I haven't heard too much about it, maybe a tweet here and there, or maybe I just missed it, but this came across, my radar now. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. And just so if you guys know, the co-founder here is Anatoly Yakovenko. Hope I'm saying that right. But he's a very seasoned engineer. He was with Qualcomm before. So he definitely knows a thing or two about chips and things of that nature. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. And when you add in the wrinkle of the fact that Solana itself is not very decentralized, I'm very interested to see what the reception is like, what the adoption is like, and then obviously what the revenue is like for Solana based on this device and the software itself. So very interesting to see. Keep that on your radar. If they're in this game and it's if it's got some legs to it, you can bet there's going to be other players that are going to come along, right? And so the one key thing here is that Apple is not on board, although this stack can be integrated with Apple as well, but they need Apple's permission to do that. So if that does happen, and remember, Tim Cook does have Bitcoin and ETH, I believe, but definitely Bitcoin. So he's already in that crypto space personally. If Apple ever gets into that space and they want to do something here, this could be explosive. So keep that on your radar, guys. Remember, tomorrow never comes. Take action, invest in yourself today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.